Alright, what's going on? This is Best Kept Secret Wally Mop Gaming, the Minni Mop, and if you're looking at this right now, you need to also, just stop listening to this right now. Just go and register for the Daytona Beach Beatdown. Or you can go to the website and register right now. $25 per game. $10 after that. If you choose to be in more games, it's going to be big. We already got $1,000 in pot money. We already got over $1,000 in pot money. I'm broke, but I'm trying to make you rich. You know what I mean? It's going down for real, some would say. You see what I did there, Will?
Right, I see. Bad. You should be ashamed of yourself for that. Like, seriously ashamed for that.
Speaking of things that I'm not ashamed of, we got a little teaser for the Star Wars Battlefront. We got actual gameplay. I'm so happy that was it.
No.
What do you?
It's a trailer.
No, it wasn't a trailer. It was in-game footage.
In-game footage just means they're letting you use the they're using the game engine to make this pre-rendered trailer, not actual
But
gameplay.
It's how the game looks when it's being played, right?
No,
it's not. No, it's probably going to change quite a bit.
It's going to change a lot
to look at than what it looks like on for the trailer. Which graphically it looks really good.
Oh my god, it's stupid. It looks like what last gen, like, when games would not look that well, but they would do the CG trailer. Yeah. It looks like the CG trailer, but like in game now.
Yeah, it's the in-game engine, which looks really good. But like some of the movements and some of the stuff that they're doing, I probably won't see them do some of the stuff that they were doing. I'm hoping that it plays well because I love the Battlefront 2 was my game. Battlefront 1 was good.
I only played Battlefront 1 though. I never played
Battlefront 2 it had a story mode in it that lets you play as. Here comes my Star Wars nerddom. Let me get the glasses.
There's no
you got to play
glasses, by
as there's no glasses for real, but you get to play as the 501st, which is called Vader's Fist. They are the 501st Legion.
Okay.
There's actually a big giant, like, I guess, Star Wars cosplaying group that calls themselves the.
Is that the one they're gonna do a movie? No. The thing they're gonna do a movie on is the guys that went to go get the plans for the Death Star, not them.
For the new movie?
Yeah, not the newest movie. They said there's gonna be a side Star Wars movie about the guys who went to go get the plans.
Yeah, that might have been that. I don't know. That might have been the 501st.
Yeah.
I don't remember too much about the lore.
They were saying, like, they mentioned them offhand, like people had to die to get these plans, but they don't actually say what it was.
The 501st was the last regiment of the Empire forces that were clones.
Okay.
That were Jango Fett clones.
Okay.
The rest of them, after a while, they started because the clones were dying off, and they basically destroyed the cloning facility. They just started recruiting people to be a part.
Which is why
Empire.
they can be a black stormtrooper.
The 501st was the last group that were Jango Fett clones, and you got to play as them from the Clone Wars all the way up through Vader's fall.
Okay.
And it was fun because you get to run around, shooting around and stuff.
One thing I didn't
see
that I believe that was in the Battlefront 2 was I didn't see any Jedis.
They had Jedis and Sith. They actually had an entire map.
No, in the new new game, I didn't see any Jedis. In the trailer.
I doubt you're probably. Well, you might have one or two I
did find out. See, I was a little mad because I'm not biased to first-person shooters, but I always like the third-person aspect to the game. I mean, that was the game. It was third-person.
You're gonna love this then.
But so you get to switch between both, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So why don't more games do this?
Because they have their staple as being first-person. Like, a lot of people were happy when Grand Theft Auto did the first-person view. And stuff
because
that.
they love.
Me
it's like I never played Grand Theft Auto, but since it's first-person, it's like that duty now.
Yeah, it's like I don't. First-person shooters are really good for shooters and moving around in certain stories. Third-person gives you more of a feel of what's going on around with the character. If you have a character that is that person, that's outside of nameless, faceless guy
I definitely get why professional ESL gamers that do shooters are in the first-person mode. I get it. I mean, it's the most tactical. It's the most you get an advantage for being in first-person mode as opposed to having the very good Uncharted a third-person shooting
Right.
tactics. It's more precise.
Yeah, the biggest thing about the first person thing I think is going to affect it is just how gameplay is going to affect people.
Yeah.
You're going to have people that are going to get upset by it and stuff like that, which I'm bothered slightly because
But they
Star
gave you
Wars
the option
Battlefront
to not,
is,
so I like it.
Yeah, but Star Wars Battlefront is in my heart a third-person shooter. It always has been.
Exactly.
But there's some people that just don't like it, and
Speaking of which, John, being that Star Wars Battlefront is going to have the first-person aspect, does that make you more excited to play the game? Because I know you're not exactly a Battlefront fan, even though I know you have played the game. But the fact that it's a first-person, you have the option to stay in first-person mode rather than jump back out into third-person. Does that make you more excited, less excited?
Honestly, if it has first FPS mode, I might try it out. But I'll try it off the Lone Wolf console. I'm not gonna buy the game off that.
You bought Evolve, so you have no legs to stand on at this point. All right.
Okay.
Damn.
Well,
damn.
Like I
That's
said,
all I
Do
gotta
you
say.
still have Evolve?
No.
Enough said.
I had it for a week and deleted it.
That is why I said you bought Evolve. Not because Evolve is a bad game. But okay, I'm not saying Evolve is a bad game.
Up.
I'm saying the fact that he once again bought a game similar to the game that shall not be spoken and returned it in 1 week because it was the same issue, basically.
No, I guess everyone switched games out. Everyone got tired of it. So I was like, I kept playing Evolve and I had no money to buy the DLC. So I was like, what's the whole point in keeping it? So I was like, alright, get rid of it.
We'll talk about it on another show. But yeah, the fact that there is a first-person point of view. Does
Again,
that
I might try it.
Cool.
I'm not gonna, but I am gonna try it.
I think you'll like it if you like shooters. It's made by one of the like you said, it's not Battlefield.
It's not going to be the. I think the biggest problem for me is it's not going to be the same group because, as you know, Lucas Arts is
definitely
no longer exists.
Yeah, but I think Lucas Arts, the people that made Battlefront 2 no longer exist. Some of those are still working with them.
They probably kept a few people and like sprinkled them out throughout EA stuff.
I would think they would have to just to get the feel for that first game. You know what I mean? Because that's what they're saying they're trying to go back to.
Yeah, I'm just worried just for the fact that it's not the same group and stuff like that.
Yeah, true.
And LucasArts has no hands in this anymore because they don't
have
exist.
No hands.
Yeah, they don't exist anymore. I mean, it'll probably do well.
Yeah,
but
it's gonna be released alongside the
I'm
the
really
game.
Worried and nervous.
Game is a movie. It is technically. It's not a movie game, but it's technically a movie game.
It's one of the few movie titles, quote unquote, that do well. Just because Star Wars itself has an expanded universe.
Exactly.
And they've had their good games. They've had their really bad games.
I've played some of those bad games.
My biggest worry about it is just the fact that that you just don't. Since it's just EA and they're doing this thing. I've been waiting a long time for this. Like a long God, you have no idea how long I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this.
This is your Last Guardian.
Yeah, this literally because with everything that was going with LucasArts and stuff like that, they weren't really making anything.
It's your for me Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not even that for me. It's not like that game. I've been waiting for a long time for this game. Not so much for them. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna. It's more just the fact that I don't want them to fuck this up. Yeah. Mainly because that game is built for doing multiplayer. That game is built for doing. It's like massive multiplayer.
Like they should have gave it to Bungie. If they, just think if they. Okay, I know you don't like the Destiny format.
That wouldn't happen.
No. I mean, they wouldn't happen. But imagine if they made a Battlefield type Destiny game with all its like that unit, like just basically a multiplayer game, and but it has the Star Wars Battlefront face and mechanics.
It wouldn't be Battlefront then.
Well, they're saying in this game that you're not gonna be able to go off world anyway. Yeah. Like in Battlefront, from what I remember, when you were fighting in that big war, you could fight somebody on land and then go in space and then come back down and all that stuff.
You're thinking another game. Yeah. This one was kind of like where you had two teams and you basically killed each other, and you had like a counter, like a reinforcement counter at the top.
Yes, you
and
did.
And it
Yes, you
goes
did.
away. The first game was all basically land battles and stuff like that, and you could like get like
Do you know if there will be any space battles in this game?
Supposedly they're saying that there will be space battles, and if they didn't, it'd be going backwards because in Battlefront 2 they had where you had like full on. It was just space battles. You had two ships, like maybe like a Star Destroyer and a rebel, one of their frigate ships.
TIE?
And you would have no the frigates, the giant.
The
ships.
frigates, the
Yeah.
big ships. Okay.
Yeah. And you would have like the.
Wasn't this
the,
on GameCube? The two.
I think they had it on PS2. I know that much.
Yeah, I played one on GameCube. Part one, the first one I played on GameCube.
I think they
But
might have had it on GameCube.
like PS2 came, I didn't. That's probably why I didn't play it.
Yeah, and the second one you have like a Star Destroyer that would have its fleet of ships, and you would have a like a rebel frigate that would have its fleet of ships, and you would have like space battles. You could either choose where you want to fly. You can jump on one of the turrets in the ship. There were some of the ships required or had it where you had two seats in it, so you could have like a gunner. You could be a gunner. It just playing with the computer. With the computer is just like really.
And
difficult.
this is pre-Halo.
So that,
you know what I'm saying? So this is like
they're talking. Yeah,
this is pre-Halo. Yeah.
They're talking about it. Possibly. Where you can go like on world, off world. So you have the battle that's going down on the ground and the battle that's like in space.
And we all know EA's. Well, at this point, we hoped very equipped at having the like what is it, 16 to 20 people on one battle.
Yeah.
In Battlefront, that will be so awesome. Like, and I don't even like shooters, but I will play that shit. Like to have like the because when Battlefield did it and they didn't succeed at first, but like when it works, it's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got somebody in the plane, somebody in the ground. You're fighting this like this big war. It feels like a war. You got 20 some people. But how many? What's like the cap on it?
The first game was like 60 something people.
Yeah.
I think they're bumping it up for this one. I hope they bump it up because it makes sense to bump it up.
That's just insanity. You got 60 people in one battlefield, like and you're just going at each other.
Yeah, but
bananas.
at one time there was no computer. There was no multiplayer. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. You had like you could do like split screen because there was no like.
But just imagine that all 60 of those people are actual people.
Yeah. I
mean, I would.
It's going to be a war. It's literally going to be a war that's going to be a fun experience, especially if you're a Star Wars fan.
I mean, even if you're not a Star Wars fan, just the universe itself, and having that level of commitment and servers and everything, EA, and for everything we say about EA, when the shit works like Battlefield, the shit's good.
Yeah, well, that's
if they don't ship a broken game, we're gonna be good.
Yeah, that's the thing. They ship broken games a lot of times, and
because from what I hear, because I tried Battlefield when it first came out, and just try it out because there's so much hype around it.
Right.
And it didn't work for me that well, and my internet's not that well, so that those two stones put together at the time did not yield successful gaming. I'm not a big shooter fan anyway.
Right.
But like when everything works and you're watching the pure insanity happening, and if they're gonna have the same physics like trees falling down and shit and everything, and it's gonna be crazy. It could be the game to get me off fighters for a little while.
I'm just worried.
Optimistically,
worried. I'm not gonna lie.
You're hoping for the best, but expecting
the worst.
EA.
Yeah, well, I'm expecting. I'm not gonna make it seem like they don't make.
They have made this game pretty quickly.
They make good games. They're making this game quickly, which is a little worrying.
Yeah.
But the thing about them is they will kind of use like it's a good game and market it, and then it's like subpar, or it's just like it barely meets the requirements. But you guys made it seem like this game's gonna be like the greatest thing ever.
I think that EA's putting a lot of money and talent behind this game because I think they see the profit. Let's look at what EA is.
Yeah.
Profit, bottom line. I think they see with the movie property, because we think movie property coming out alongside game, this shit's gonna be horrible. A big company sees big movie company coming out behind a game. That's all our money going towards the movie, and then the movie sales going towards it at the same time, and it's gonna boost the profits.
Knowing what franchises will sell.
Yeah.
And knowing where to put your like example Captain America, the first Avenger
The
came
Sega one.
yeah.
Which wasn't a bad game.
It was not a bad game. It wasn't the best.
I can't find it anymore.
But the problem is they basically stole the basic game design from Batman.
They did. Which was a good idea, actually.
Yeah, it's brilliant. If you wanted to, and it sold decent. It sold better than it would if they were.
It's probably the best Sega game to come out in the last 5 years.
Then we go and look at like stuff like, well, they fucked up with Iron Man.
They really fucked up with
Iron Man and Iron Man 2. Iron Man and Iron Man 2 were bad.
They were bad games.
I played the demo for Iron Man 1 and I was like, wow, this actually might be real good. Because I gave it the benefit of the doubt because it's a demo. And I bought the game, I was like, oh no.
Why can't I do anything?
Yeah, like,
it's like Superman 64 all over again.
You can't move properly. It was bad. But like Star Wars, if you have now that EA kind of has it in their clutches, they have in their hands something that they can freaking run with and make it like the best thing ever.
I mean, EA is no stranger to bad press, but I think if they fuck this up, the amount of bad press would really hurt them.
It's a big franchise.
Yeah.
Star Wars is a huge franchise.
Like, it would really... They
would hurt them.
Like, some really bad will.
Oh, yeah.
If they fuck this up,
yeah.
you know what I mean? John, if they fuck this up, like, I think even the Madden people will be like, yo.
Yeah. Well, EA
fucked up that Star Wars? That Wars?
Yeah.
That SW? They fucked up that SW?
No, you don't hear that.
It would be that Battlefront.
That front? That Battlefront?
Get that front?
That front. That front.
Oh, God.
But I don't think it'll.
That fucking front.
I don't think it'll sell. At the beginning, it won't sell like a Call of Duty.
Not till the movies come out.
Well, even then, it'll still be kind of like a niche audience that played the previous Battlefront games that are going to pick it up.
I don't know. I think
maybe people are like, oh well, it's a Star Wars game, so it's not going to be that bad for kids and stuff like that.
I think with it releasing on alongside the if you think about it, we ever since the Rocksteady and stuff like that, and ever since for a while now, for the last I'll say 5 years maybe, we haven't really had those movie tie-in games coming out because publishers are realizing that they don't sell well and they're not good games.
Rocksteady didn't really make a tie-in game.
No, I'm saying like they are what when Rocksteady made Batman and it did come out on Sonic game, they were like, hey, if we make good games, these shits will sell. So maybe we need to start making these movie tie-in games because they're shitty. You know what I mean? And
if they make movie tie-in games and they make them properly, they sell really well.
But they need time.
If they don't,
there's literally a deadline.
Yeah, that's the problem. They rush them out and they're bad.
Yeah.
Batman. The long list of bad Batman games. The
long list
of bad comic games.
All the Nolans are bad. All the live action ones.
Those are pretty bad. But like, you have to take time to actually make it. But they want to make it where it has to be out of the game. I guess the one franchise I can actually say did well when it comes to like movie tie-ins and stuff like that, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 1 was not bad,
was really
but Spider-Man 2 revolutionized the entire Spider-Man game
open world
that they keep.
Spider-Man 2 revolutionized open world gaming.
They realized at that point from Spider-Man 2, 3, Web of Shadows, and I think Ultimate Spider-Man, they knew that the entire thing, and even people told them, what we like about being Spider-Man is freaking swinging around the city, being able to swing around the goddamn city, and doing it in like fanciful ways. Like, so some of the best web swinging and combat that I've seen still is Web of Shadows. Just where you can swing around the town and do like these epic flips and stuff in there, and then like use your web to actually fight like Spider-Man. You're fighting like Spider-Man. You're not just on the ground like punching and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're using your web to jump and flip and friggin' move and stuff like that. He's a movement. He's an acrobatic fighter. He's a movement fighter.
So this is my question, right? So this game's coming out. We're gonna have support for this game. This game's not just gonna come out and there just isn't there. I mean, they're gonna continue to support this game. I disagree with you. I think it's gonna sell very well because I think new Star Wars fans are gonna be into this Star Wars. We know it's been like 6 years or something like that since the last trilogy of Star Wars. Is it longer than that?
I think it's longer than that.
Probably 6 to 10 years, whatever the case is.
It's getting there.
So
wait. 04. I was in high school when episode 3 came out, I believe. So I think, and I was in early high school. So I
was late high school, I think.
Yeah. If you were in high school, it might have been earlier than that.
I want to say it came out Yeah, and
it's early 2000.
It came out like 2005. I want to say.
I don't.
2004, 2005 is when the last Star Wars.
It does sound about right.
The when Anakin turned into Darth Vader.
05.
Yeah.
05.
I don't know my shit.
So yeah, I was a senior.
Yeah,
juniors.
So all those kids that were like really really young are like now gamers now, and I think they're gonna gravitate towards it. But this is my thing right here. This is my question, and I pose this to you guys, and we can end the mini mop. Do you think that there will be a Battlefront 2?
Like, technically Battlefront 4.
Well, Battlefront, but if this is Star Wars Battlefront, the reboot of the system, the reboot of the genre of the game, whatever the case is, right? Do you think there will be a sequel to this Star Wars Battlefront, or is this just a one-shot deal for EA? Because think about it.
There's a lot of factors.
3 more movies coming out.
There's a lot of factors.
Will this do well? Will they just keep this game out? But they got the fans. Are they trying to do other Star Wars properties? Like
I think they're going to see how this goes. Because there's a lot of factors with making another game. Even if they have something that's like something in the works, quote unquote.
I mean, the fact that you're getting Star Wars Battlefront itself is like
if it sells well. Possibly, it increases the chances like heavily. If it bombs,
give me a percentage on out of 100%. What are the chances of us seeing a Battlefront, a sequel to this Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront, or do we just is this just it? Percentage.
I'm gonna go with.
Say why. You gotta explain your answer now.
My percentage I'm going with is probably going to be 70%.
So you think that there's going to be a sequel to this?
Yes, depending on how this who is, like you said, who's going to be watching it, who is coming up to the generation of watching Star Wars. Like, hey, what is this? And catch on to the series and be like, oh, this might be a good game. Or from watching the movies and continue on from where they started from or went the game. So I think it's going to be a percentage of 70% of the people going to actually go gravitate to it and boost the sales up for it in order to make another game happen.
Good answer. One more question for you, and you specifically. Okay. This is Battlefront. This is 2015 Battlefront, which means that the things that would not have been normal for back in the day Battlefront are normal now. Are we going to have perks? Are we going to have like upgrading, like like Call of Duty style,
upgrading
like
weapons, upgrading
like
armor,
like your level and everything like that? Is that going to be a thing?
It might. I can see it running like a Call of Duty or Battlefield ranking to it and unlocking weapons.
And Will, after you give your percentage, how do you feel about that?
My percentage right now, I'm gonna say right now, I think it's gonna vary depending on sales and stuff like that. Right now, I'd say it's probably in the 80s.
If it breaks even.
If it breaks even,
do you think that? I mean, it breaks even. Does normal for a let's say it does like well enough to be like a good new IP. Let's say it does Uncharted 1 numbers.
Well, it's not a new IP.
It's not, but let's just say it sells that way.
If it sells relatively well, I'll say chances are pretty high. Okay. 80s, 90s, somewhere around there. And if it sells well, you have a chance, a higher chance that it's going to have a sequel to it.
Before you answer my second part, I think that the fact that we're getting a Star Wars Battlefront is crazy. I think that they're probably going to be expecting us just to shut up and take this one. I don't think it's going to be a yearly thing. I think we're looking at another. If between movies we got 2 years, I think we'll have 2 of these games. Maybe we'll have this one, and we'll have the one right before the last of this trilogy of Star Wars. Okay, and now with the new ranking and tiers and all that shit and loadouts and shit that you're gonna have for with the new, like, it's 2015. We got the things that are normal to shooters now, good or bad. They're different from what Battlefront you remember. So how do you feel about that coming? Is that gonna make the game better or worse?
In the original Battlefront, they had it where you chose your class, and your class had its set
but
weapons.
You didn't rank up though.
Yeah, you didn't rank up or anything, but they had their set classes and stuff like that. And the reason why you didn't rank up is because
there's so much DLC on this shit.
What is the point of doing a rank up when you're just playing by yourself?
Exactly.
I encourage it just for the fact that since it's going to be a multiplayer game, it's going to be a massive multiplayer game. I encourage it just for that sake because it gives competition between the players and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Loadouts I'm okay with loadouts as long as you're not like, here's a rebel using Empire weapons and stuff like that. Like, that'll defeat the point of playing as like the rebels or I mean, like, yeah, you could probably like use weapons and stuff like that. But the thing that made it was you were this army versus this army,
yeah, or
this and whatnot. So as long as you're not like doing like crazy stuff, like I get to use all these or
they give what on the rebel?
Or like having the one thing I do have a problem.
My fear is like they give like one of the rebel troopers like a lightsaber.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're gonna go that far.
Or something like that. You know what I mean?
I don't think they're gonna go that far. But
or they give like an Ewok like command of a tank or something. You know, like something just stupid.
Like I would like to have a game because it's a slight little bother thing for me when you have a game where you can like choose like all these guns. You can choose all these guns because you're gonna have that one gun that's like the best gun ever, and people are just gonna pick that gun, because they want to win. And that's what it's gonna boil down to.
Yeah.
I want to make it where if you're gonna play with whatever army that you're playing with, you have to play with that army's weapons. I'd be okay with that. If it just like you can just like mix and match all these weapons, it bothers me. Like grenades, whatever, because having a thermal detonator is a thermal detonator.
Yeah.
Like whatever. And suppose they're gonna have one of the pre-order bonuses. You get like ion grenades, and which they're probably gonna do it the way that I don't want them to do it. Is one of the other pre-order bonuses is you get an ion grenade, and you also get Hans blaster, which they're probably going to do it that way unless it's a actual like it's just an added on weapon or whatnot.
I just had a thought, what if they put like Star-Lord, like we said Hans blaster, and I was thinking about the blaster for Star-Lord.
Yeah.
It is Disney.
It's Disney, but that'll be really
game
well
breaking.
I don't know because they're already doing some stuff that's really like let's sneak in some Disney stuff or something. We're about to say it's some weird stuff.
Yeah.
So
but
that's why I would personally like. That's just personal preference. However they do it, whatever. I have no say in it.
Yeah.
I'll still end up playing the game because I've been waiting for this game for a long time, and I've always wanted to really play like a good Star Wars game that was like this, where like everybody wants to be a Jedi or a Sith or whatever like that because lightsabers are cool.
Yeah.
But they don't really do a lot of games where you're playing as the troops, as the people who are actually doing like the in the ground fighting and stuff like that.
It's a different story.
Yeah, I've always liked the Mandalorians for the fact that Boba Fett is a Mandalorian. For all you people who didn't know. I like the Mandalorians for the fact that they are just bounty hunters and like a warrior group
class of people,
who freaking fight.
They don't make them like them anymore.
They use their weapons, they have their armor, and that's it. They can go head to head with the likes of a Sith or a Jedi or any force sensitive person.
Mm-hmm.
I like those characters. I love those characters for that fact because you have two OP guys and you have this guy that's like, I got a blaster, some blades, freaking tow cable, and a freaking thermal detonator.
Play, guys?
I will wreck you guys. Go ahead, use your lightsaber.
Yeah, like, can I play, guys?
Yeah, like I like those guys. Like, give some love to them.
All right, man. Well, we're all pretty excited for the game, as excited can be. Good. We saw that in-game footage, so we know exactly how the game is going to play.
Look, damn it.
Hey, but no. The trailer, we've been playing it back to back, and it's pretty cool. I can't wait to see what happens. Optimistically excited, I want to say. For Red K, Lone Wolf, King Legacy. This is Minni Mop. We out.
Because video games.
Best kept secret.